GalNet News Update, 22nd of September 3308.
Azimuth Biotech should be charged with willful endangerment and accessory to mass murder, after its leader Salvation caused the deaths of well over 100,000 naval personnel. That's the claim of federal civil rights group Advocacy, and they claim that the ruling in the Admiral Tanner case backs them up. Tanner had his sentence commuted because the court accepted that he'd been disobeying orders to try and save the lives that were lost when the Proteus wave went so badly wrong. And that ruling suggests that the court implicitly accepts that Salvation was undertaking illegal acts and deliberately deceiving the superpowers. Director Rhiannon Grady of Advocacy is not calling for the leaders, Hudson, Mann and Lavigne Duval, to stand trial. But many other citizens' rights groups believe that they should face justice for knowingly or unknowingly allowing Salvation to cause countless civilian deaths in Cornsar, Didio, Novas and Sosong, as well as committing their navies to the ultimately disastrous engagement in HIP 22460. Azimuth Biotech's acting CEO Torben Rademacher has brushed off these calls for legal action, insisting firstly that Salvation didn't make a mistake, and secondly that if he did make a mistake, well, that's down to him personally, not the corporation as a whole. Insisting that all science, regardless of outcome, advances knowledge, Rademacher made the interesting observation that the initial blue operation of the Proteus wave went exactly to plan, and that the second green blast appeared to be a result of the weapon being recalibrated by the Thargoids to shut down human ships instead of Thargoid ones. He said that Salvation's mistake, had he made one, which of course he didn't, would have been to underestimate the ability of the Thargoids to retaliate so quickly and effectively. HIP 22460 remains a no-go area for all civilian traffic, with the Thargoids firmly in control.
Princess Aisling Duval is hosting a charity drive for the families of those who lost their lives in HIP 22460, and she'd like your help gathering rare goods to auction off. There's something slightly odd about this charity drive. The prismatic princess is willing to pay well over the odds for the rare goods, and then plans to auction them off, presumably for even higher prices, to help provide financial and other support to the families left behind by those who died assisting the Proteus Wave initiative. It doesn't sound like a particularly good way to make money, especially as the Blue Rinse Princess is also planning to spend vast amounts of money to bounty hunters protecting the traders who are bringing in the absurdly expensive goods. And she's giving out paint jobs to the top 75% of those who take part. And you know how expensive arcs are. The charity that will benefit is the Citizens Relief Trust, which will set up support centres for bereaved families in the Empire. Aisling does not plan to help bereaved families elsewhere, and encourage the Alliance and Federation to do their own fundraising if they want support for their bereaved families. Charity begins at home, after all. Aisling plans to auction off the Issue umbrellas, the She-He biomorphic companions, and Chateau de Aegion to an unspecified audience of Imperial nobility. Given that she has very recently openly criticised the Emperor, it is unclear just how many Imperial nobles will agree to attend, especially given the unusual banquet menu of wine and fish. Only wine and fish. Fish for every course, including the pudding. Mackenzie Station in Semius is going to smell of fish for months. Just mark my words.
"10 days of hunting Thargoids in the not entirely grateful systems of Tekitjal, Chun Pindit and 42N Percy seems to have achieved little, with huge numbers of anti-Xeno combat zones still evident in the affected systems. The three systems were invaded by relatively polite Thargoids on Tuesday last week. The Thargoids did not attack any stations and remained politely in the designated combat areas, later to be joined by several Farragut battlecruisers. The three initiatives were well supported by anti-Xeno pilots, with 1.3 trillion credits paid out in bounties. And at the end of the 10 days of combat? Well, a lot of pilots are a lot wealthier. The tiny economies of the affected systems are presumably massively in debt. The Thargoids are still there, humanity remains in control, and the starports all remain intact. No one has won, no one has lost. Perhaps there should be a rematch.